Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the forum of the group exhibit Hydrogen and Fuel Cells here on Hannover Fair 2012. I would like to welcome you here in the forum, take a seat, have a drink on the house and discuss with us because the fuel cell is already coming. There it comes, the green Gen NG5, and that's what we are talking about the 5 kilowatt natural fuel cell power generator, and we will talk about it with the Director of H2 and Fuel Cell Technologies, Tropical, Jörgis Kaplanis. Mr. Kaplanis, nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, I can also say George or Jörgis. Jörgis is great, or George Kaplanis.
George is great, yeah.
You're from Tropical, and you have to tell me a little bit background knowledge about Tropical, because you're originally in a complete different business, aren't you? Not only in fuel cells.
Exactly. We started back almost 30 years ago, dealing with bus manufacturing and air conditioning and refrigeration units. And from 1995, actually, we have started working on fuel cell technologies. And actually, from 2004, we came into the first prototype products.
It's always good to have a good business in the back, you know, when you start fuel cell business, because it takes a long time until it comes to business with fuel cells, isn't it?
Actually, yes, because what was happening was that the previous years, the Department of AC and Refrigeration Units was actually funded the Department of Hydrogen and Fuel Cells. So that was a good chance for us to move on into European projects funding or national projects funding, which was really great.
So you also do some R&D programs and of course some research and development in your company, and also have products. So you cover both.
Yes, we cover both. As I said earlier, we have concluded already 12 national and European projects. We have private invested projects inside the company, or with the collaborations that we have with Greek institutes and universities. There are peripherals that we are using at the moment on our products, which actually were investigated and researched during those European and national projects, and which actually gave us expertise on certain areas which we need them.
With this expertise, you made a product that we will talk about, the fuel cell power generator, producing 5 kilowatt nominal electric power. It's
exactly.
Just right left to us, from your point of view, right to us. Mm-hmm. There it is. So that's a pure fuel cell and a whole system, actually.
Actually, it's a CHP system, combined heat and power system. We have a fuel cell power generator and a reforming system. So actually what happens, we need like a supply of natural gas or LPG with a few modifications, and then the reformer is feeding the fuel cell power generator. So we got like 5 kilowatt net power and almost 6 kilowatt thermal power.
I've got to understand that. So it's a PEM inside.
It's a PEM. It's a PEM inside.
And as far as I know, a PEM needs pure hydrogen.
Exactly.
But you can use natural gas. Therefore, you need a reformer inside this fuel cell stack.
Exactly.
Okay. So it doesn't matter whether we have natural gas or LPGs. It just needs some changes within the system.
Within the reforming system. Yeah.
Okay, within the reforming system. So this is a system I can get 5 kilowatt electric power from it. Mm-hmm. For what applications are you thinking is that interesting?
Actually, it can be for on and off-grid applications. Mainly, we are focusing on residential applications and small businesses, and obviously, we are looking on the telecommunications sector. So far, we have some good. We had a lot of discussions. We have closed an agreement, and we are looking forward for some new strategic partners in the coming months. Actually, not near future.
Okay. So you have already some customer very much interested in that system. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about the uninterruptible power system. How important is that? Is it only a niche market, or is that a real huge market in your eyes?
It's a huge market on certain areas around the world. There are markets like the Asian market, which actually are focusing on UPS systems. We are looking also on that market. But as I said earlier, we are mainly focused on the residential and small businesses applications.
Where you also can use the heat.
Obviously, yeah.
That is very important to get a good outcome of the fuel cell. If you use
we have a very good
electricity.
efficiency, which is over 90%, almost 93%. So that's why we make it like a CHP system.
That's the efficiency overall, electric and thermal.
Exactly.
Only electric. How good are you there?
It will be around 50%. It can go 52, but actually 50% is great.
Okay. What about backup power systems? Is it good also for backup power systems?
Yes, it can be used as a backup power system, either as a standalone backup power system or as a hybrid system. If we add like some renewable energy sources like photovoltaic or wind generators, we can make like a hybrid system. We can either propose a system like this, or there are occasions that there were people who have like PVs, like photovoltaics on their house, and they wanted like a backups, actually battery charger for their batteries. So it can work perfectly on that.
That's right. That's especially in Germany an interesting topic, because the first solar panels run out of funding in a few years, and then they need a new application because they can't get the electricity directly into the grid anymore for that high prices.
Exactly,
so
that's
that
true.
could be an interesting market as well for you. For a storage system.
Also, what we can do is like we can downscale that product. That's the 5 kilowatt system, which actually cover a lot of needs of the market. But downscaling of the system, it's easy for us, since if you remember, like back in 2006, if I'm not wrong, we have introduced here at Hannover MESSE the HT1000, as we call it back, which was an LPG 1 kilowatt fuel cell power generator.
You have already sold 500 of these devices, which is quite a success story, actually.
Actually, it was an agreement which was made on the 9th of April. It's an agreement between Tropical and Aspate. Aspate is a construction company, mainly for buildings, for houses. And what is more important is that Aspate is also the main contractor for the pipelines of natural gas on the Greek market. So actually, their idea is like to build small villages, small blocks of houses, and which they call them eco-friendly houses. They will use renewable energy sources as well as our NG5 unit. We have like our first contract that we have agreement is for 500 units up to the end of 2015. And there is an option from both sides to increase our collaboration, okay, and go up to 2020 with more than 10,000 units. But we stick to that 500 units, which is at the end of 2015.
That's a good position, to sell other ones if you have already sold 500, so the market is obviously there. And let's talk a little bit about the advantages of a fuel cell like that in the applications you were talking about. Obviously, it has the co-generation, so it generates electricity and heat, and it does this very efficiently. I think that's very important to say.
Exactly. As I said before, it has like almost 93% efficiency. The whole system, if you utilize both thermal and electric power. It has reliability. We are using stack from a large manufacturer, a well-known manufacturer. The lifetime of our system at the moment is tested at 15,000 hours. It can go, hopefully, I'm pretty sure that it can go up to 20,000 hours. But we're still looking on new collaborations on that part, so there might be more to come. Who knows, maybe at Hannover Fair next year we can have like at 40,000 hours lifetime.
Would be great, yeah, indeed. Yeah. I wish keep my fingers crossed. And it is also good for quick start operation because it's a low temperature PEM. You don't need a long time to heat it up. It goes quite
We have like two options. The system can be on a standby mode, where actually we need approximately 25 to 30 minutes to come to full operation. If it's closed, then we just open it. Then we need the maximum 1 hour before we can provide the maximum of its electric power or thermal power.
You didn't develop the fuel cell inside. It's from Ballard. I can say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But you developed the system. So
Exactly.
it is quite important how the system is being controlled, how this is being steered,
Exactly.
and you have an intelligent controller in it, which can be operated by a touchscreen monitor. You can see that there.
Yeah.
It's obviously on.
Yeah,
we can have a look, closer look, and you explain me how this works. And if you want to come a little bit closer and have a look at it.
Okay, so like we have like that touchscreen monitor where we have like all the parameters seen on the main display. So except for that, as you can see, it's just like a start button. We just press it and the system starts operating.
Right.
We have the emergency stop. We also have like the USB and the Ethernet port. The USB is like for taking like the parameters for data login,
Okay.
and the Ethernet port is mainly used for like for remote monitoring or for remote servicing or updating the software on the smart controller. So everything is on that controller, and what is really important is that the alarms that you can see here. So whatever problem might happen on the fuel cell system, then an alarm directly stops the operation of the system. And if you have connected it on the internet, then you can just get an SMS or an email on your computer or on your phone, knowing that you have that problem.
And how can I connect it to the internet? Via
By the
Ethernet?
Ethernet port, yeah. You can connect it directly, as long as you have like a static IP address.
Okay.
So you need like the internet access.
So it takes my IP address and sends from this IP address
Exactly.
its status, and there's a log file inside, yeah?
There is a log file inside which can be taken out with an SD card.
Okay, and it's easy to handle. It's intuitive. Even if I have no idea about fuel cells and no idea about devices, I still can see, well, like the system cannot start because, and then comes something. There's it. It cannot start because of an error in the hydrogen leak sensor.
Exactly.
Very good. Okay, so I know already there is a hydrogen leak sensor in it, and there's an error about that.
So either you can inform us directly, or if we have, if you give us like the permission, we can have it like that message on our central, on our headquarters in Athens, so we can see that message without doing actually something. Just wait from you to inform us that there is that, but although we know it.
Yeah, it is at least a device that talks to me. I like that. You know, other devices don't tell me what's wrong with them, and they just don't work. Yeah. So I would like to give you the opportunity to ask your questions. If you have any question to Georgios, please give me a sign with your hand. I'll come with the microphone directly to you. Well, I think it's a very nice device to produce electricity and also heat. And it can be used also in remote areas, probably, isn't it?
Obviously, that's why we said that except for natural gas, it can accept LPG. There are areas that they have LPG, so with the large tanks, they can use that system. They can produce power and heat. That's why it's so flexible, the system.
Very good. So whoever likes to learn a little bit more about this device can visit George Kaplanis at his booth number D60. But I take your question, of course. I'm seeing it. Please introduce yourself.
I'm called Joseph from a company called Yandalux, GmbH. It's rather awkward asking this question, but I would actually like to understand the technology behind fuel cells in general.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the technology, what is behind it.
So actually what we have here, we have like a system which takes as supply natural gas or generally hydrocarbons. What we have there, the reforming system actually, as we call it, cleans the hydrocarbon and supply hydrogen the fuel cell power generator. On the fuel cell power generator, there is like a fuel cell stack. On the fuel cell stack accepts hydrogen plus oxygen from the atmosphere. So there are some membranes inside and some cells on the fuel cell stack that called proton exchange membranes. On that point, hydrogen combines with oxygen and we produce DC unregulated voltage. Then is the power supplies that give you either stabilized current, DC or AC.
It's
and
like...
the only, sorry to interrupt you, and if you use like only hydrogen, then the only emission is clean water.
So it's like a cold burning device. It produces electricity by burning. It's not really burning. It's burning, getting in a
it's like a chemical reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, and we produce that.
Okay.
Although we have like thermal energy, but this is a combination of the chain of the chemical reaction.
The temperature inside is about 80 degrees or something.
It's less. It's around 65 to 70 degrees.
65. You have a very effective device to produce electricity instead of burning it and producing electricity. Then it is better to do it in a fuel cell, much more effective, and especially interesting also for countries who don't have a grid. In Germany we are used, also Italy, we are used to a very good grid, but there are a lot of countries who don't have a grid but still have like telecommunication service, and they need these kind of devices also very much.
Yes, that's why we're looking for strategic partners all around the world. Actually, mainly now we are focused in Europe. So finding a strategic partner means finding someone who can actually allocate and find which are, let's say, the natural gas providers or who are like the telecommunication contractors. And then obviously I'm pretty sure that we can have deals like the previous one with the 500 units.
Mr. Kaplanis, I'm convinced. How much have I had to pay for this? Tell me.
Now, as I said before, what we were doing now is like finding strategic partners for making the market. Okay, like the 500 units agreement that we had is a great opportunity for us. Now we're looking for that amount of units or even 1,000 of units. We have some good meetings here at Hanover Fair. Hopefully, in the next couple of months, you can wait like more press releases with more good news.
Okay.
Then we can discuss about
prices.
If we are satisfied, then we will see. Maybe there will be like a pilot plan in your house.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would like to have that. Okay, I don't know if it's enough what I've got with me, but we will see then. We will discuss that later. Indeed. And if you would like to discuss with Mr. Kaplanis, just visit him at his booth number D60. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Me too, thank you very much.
It was a pleasure having you here in the forum and taking your questions and your attention. I would like to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And I would like to tell you that it's going on in our forum here at 4 o'clock already with Integris Incorporated from Texas, USA, about advancements in coatings and graphites for fuel cells. Owen Hopkins will talk. We're looking forward to that.